China, often advertised as the world's largest car market and potential dominator in the electric vehicle industry, presents a different reality today. Contrary to popular belief, the situation is far from accurate. The Chinese EV market is witnessing a staggering number of companies going bankrupt daily, with over 400 enterprises succumbing to liquidation. Join us as we aim to uncover the underlying reasons behind the bankruptcy of almost 90% of Chinese EV manufacturers. China has shown an unwavering commitment to electric vehicles since their early development stages. Recognizing the potential environmental and economic benefits, the Chinese government implemented a series of policies and initiatives to promote the adoption and production of EVs. In 2009, the government introduced subsidies for EV purchases, providing financial incentives to individuals and businesses to embrace electric mobility. This move inspired the growth of the EV market and encouraged domestic automakers to invest in research and development for electric vehicle technologies. Since then, China has continued to reinforce its support for EVs through a combination of regulatory measures and infrastructure development. The government set ambitious targets for EV sales and production, aiming to establish China as a global leader in the electric vehicle industry. It implemented strict fuel efficiency standards and introduced a complex system of credits to encourage automakers to produce more EVs. Additionally, China invested heavily in the construction of charging infrastructure, deploying thousands of charging stations across the country to alleviate range anxiety and promote EV adoption. These concerted efforts have propelled China to become the largest EV market in the world, fostering a dynamic and competitive environment for both domestic and international manufacturers. In 2018, the Wall Street Journal reported that 487 EV makers were operating in China at that time. Out of the initial 487 companies that ventured into the electric vehicle market, only one of them remains profitable today. Recent statistics reveal that merely 40 of these companies are still operational, while a staggering 447 have faced bankruptcy. Among the 40 surviving companies, BYD stands as the only one currently making profits from EV sales. However, it is essential to acknowledge that the inherent challenges in generating revenue from the EV industry, as demonstrated by the limited success of companies beyond BYD and Tesla. Presently, Tesla and BYD remain the only notable exceptions, having achieved profitability from their EV sales. Nevertheless, when comparing the operating profit margins of these Chinese companies to Tesla, a substantial disparity ranging from 14 to 74 percentage points emerges. Despite BYD's impressive sales growth, the company grapples with modest profit margins, significantly trailing behind Tesla during the period spanning from 2019 to 2022. BYD's gross profit margins for the third quarter fluctuated between 16.3%, 19.4%, 13%, and 15.9% respectively, while its net profit margins varied between 1.7%, 3.8%, 1.8%, and 3.7%. In stark contrast, Tesla's gross profit margins for the same period stood at 16.6%, 21%, 25.3%, and 26.4%, while its net profit margins oscillated between negative 3.15%, 2.7%, 10.5%, and 15.3%. This evident discrepancy highlights that BYD still has a long journey ahead to achieve substantial cash flow. The difference between these Chinese companies and Tesla is quite significant, with the gap ranging from $16 to $20 billion. Rumors suggest that the situation will only worsen for EV makers in China. The government is expected to cut subsidies for EVs in the coming years, which will make it even more difficult for companies to make a profit. Additionally, the global EV market is expected to slow down in the next few years, further reducing demand for Chinese-made EVs. As a result, 90% of EV makers in China will likely go bankrupt in the next few years. This will leave a handful of profitable companies, but the industry as a whole will be much smaller and less competitive. The bankruptcy of so many EV makers will have a significant impact on the Chinese economy. The EV industry is a major driver of economic growth in China, and its collapse will lead to job losses and a decline in investment. Additionally, the bankruptcy of so many companies will damage China's reputation as a leader in the EV industry. The government is aware of the problems facing the EV industry, and it is taking some steps to address them. However, it is unclear whether these steps will be enough to prevent the industry's collapse. Now, let's look at the challenges the Chinese EV makers face in today's world. Many Chinese companies have encountered substantial disruptions in their capital chains, particularly this year. A lack of capital can hinder the ability of a company to maintain high product quality standards and competitiveness in the market, resulting in decreased sales and increased financial losses. Several emerging car manufacturers operating in the second, third, and fourth tiers, Leap Motor and Skywell Auto, also had this problem. They tried to transition from manufacturing small electric vehicles to high-end electric cars. However, the sales performance of their newly introduced high-end models fell short of expectations, causing them massive financial losses. The transition to high-end vehicles often requires a substantial capital investment to develop advanced technologies, upscale production capabilities, and establish a brand presence in the high-end market segment. Inadequate funds and unsuccessful sales in the high-end segment have further added to the financial struggles of these companies. Another challenge faced by certain companies within the Chinese EV industry is limited vehicle deliveries. Limited vehicle deliveries can undermine consumer confidence, diminish market presence, reduce brand reputation, and make it challenging to attract new customers. Various factors, including production constraints, supply chain issues, and logistical challenges, can contribute to this problem. Insufficient production capacities, bottlenecks in the manufacturing process, and inadequate distribution networks all limit the delivery capacity of these companies. Additionally, the fiercely competitive and capital-intensive nature of the electric vehicle industry adds to the challenges faced by Chinese EV manufacturers. Many companies struggle with insufficient product development and expansion funds after establishing production bases and obtaining manufacturing qualifications. The lack of capital restricts their ability to maintain quality standards and competitiveness, leading to decreased sales and increased financial losses. While some companies have managed to secure funding, such as SciTech raising $500 million in Series A funding in 2021, it remains uncertain if these capital injections will be enough in such a demanding industry. In short, inadequate capital, poor product quality, unsuccessful high-end vehicle sales, and limited vehicle deliveries have all contributed to the financial struggles and uncertain future of many Chinese EV companies. Overcoming these challenges requires substantial investments, improved production capacities, enhanced brand reputation, and the ability to meet customer demand effectively. Even in these bleak future predictions, there are rays of hope. Some EV startups are still trying to survive in these harsh scenarios. Chinese electric car startup Nezha has attracted significant attention by announcing a remarkable accomplishment in 2022. The company claims to have delivered a staggering 152,000 vehicles, surpassing the 122,486 deliveries made by NIO Inc. Nezha, a brand operating under startup Hosen Auto, reported a remarkable doubling of its car deliveries during the same period. According to reports, as of July 2022, Nezha had successfully raised nearly 10 billion yen during its Series D funding round, which represents the fourth stage of fundraising following the initial investment. On the other hand, Chinese battery and car manufacturer BYD company secured the top spot in EV sales for 2022, having sold a remarkable 911,000 electric cars. Fellow Chinese EV competitors Li Auto and XPeng also experienced notable growth in their December deliveries, with a quarter-over-quarter increase of 41.2% and 94% respectively. So what do you think the future holds in store for the Chinese automakers? Share your thoughts in the comments section. And for more informative videos like this, be sure to like the video and subscribe to Tech Innovation.